All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming. I'm gonna recycle because last time um, we didn't have very many people, so I'm gonna recycle the icebreaker question from last time, and also since it's concluded, maybe people have different opinions. But what's your favorite Olympic event? I'm gonna make Steve go first.
Fencing, because I
Oh,
used to fence in high school.
oh, awesome. Which type of fencing did you do?
I did saber.
Okay. I remember there's one like that you like it's like you're like trying to like whip it around. Is that saber? Like
Kind of. So that's the one where you slash.
got it.
You hit them in
Okay.
the upper body.
Nice. All
But
right.
of course, they never show any of it on TV. So I guess track and field.
Yeah. All right. Anybody else want to give their opinion your favorite Olympic sport? I think I'm a track and field guy. I liked the breaking. I know it's not going to make it to the next one, and there's a controversial Australian breaker, but I thought it was pretty cool. And actually, when I ended up watching what she did, I thought it was actually not nearly as bad as they made her seem. There were a few moves that were pretty ridiculous, but she wasn't a total flop.
You're very kind. You're very kind.
There, were-
Uh,
you know, she definitely was not the best, but there were some moves that were, she looked like she, had some legitimate moves. The little bunny hop was a little bit, maybe not competition worthy. Well, does anybody else want to offer up their favorite Olympic sport? Otherwise, if not, that's cool.
I'll
We
say
can talk.
rugby. I played rugby in college for a year and seeing those girls, those women like just crush it and like, go Team USA. But it like spurred me to, we have a rugby team here in Wilmington. So I've gone out on the pitch now twice and haven't bought cleats yet. I haven't like decided 100% if I'm gonna like join the team. But I am 20 years older plus 20 plus years older than some of the current players. So that's always fun
All
to
right, maybe
like,
we'll see you in LA
yeah.
on the team.
It's scary when you can be somebody's mother uh that you're, touch tackling. So wait,
Cool. Well, yeah, we might as well let's just hop into it then. So thanks for joining us, everybody. So have the let me I'll share my screen. Do, do, do. Here is where did I put? Yeah, the agenda for today. So, yeah, well, Lori, do you want to, or Edith, do you want to talk about the um the DOK operator timeline project that we didn't get a chance to talk about it ahead of time, but did you want to talk about it now? The idea for
Hello,
like putting it on
everyone.
GitHub.
Yeah, we were thinking, hello, everyone. Hello, Lori. We were thinking to put this. We already did some part of the work where we put in a timeline several um, data operators for databases. So we put it in time, but we didn't include several of them that want to also be added in this work. And we want to do like community work, like everyone can feel through to add through a pull request their operator and what's important and what it brings. So to create a more big timeline also. So we thought to make it through a GitHub repository. So there are projects like Vites, who is also interested in add some community work there, and there are others too. So it will be nice to do it through that, so we can, as a data on Kubernetes community, we can be maintainers of that project.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I can definitely help with with getting that set up on the GitHub. I actually don't know how that was set up before me, so I'm not sure if it's just public or how that works in terms of like who manages like pull requests. But I'll definitely look into that in terms of like access levels. But we can create a space for you in the DOK repo. Did you say Vitesse, by the way, earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, there. And then Deepti, she's going to be doing a talk in September about Vitesse. You know, we're trying to also bring them on board as a community collaborator. So that'd be great.
Yeah, she's very interesting input also BTS in the timeline. So it's the reason why we were thinking in something more community work.
Yeah, great. Um, cool. Anybody have any questions or anything to add to that or?
I just want to like second Edith's idea and like how interesting it'll be to get more people involved in like saying where they are on the timeline, but also when you think about it, when new operators come in or an operator is updated, for us to kind of be like an additional reference point, I think is cool. You know, when you're trying to come up with things to share throughout the year, just being able to say, hey, have y'all checked out our most recent like operator timeline? You know, go ahead and add yourself if you're not on there. I think it's just a way to always kind of give back to the community by sharing the information, but also give them an easy entry point in contributing because it makes sense to have their company listed. And I know there's a million operators out there, but it's at least one more sort of DOK approved area to look at.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's pretty low level lift. So yeah, I think that's something we can definitely move forward with. Like what kind of I mean it seems like we get that started pretty quickly. So I think I'll just add a note here like Paul to look up procedures or look up what's the word, access levels on DOK GitHub. If I need to invite anybody, I can do that. But yeah, I'll just make sure to double check, you know, how that's set up right now. Like if anybody can approve commits or not, or how that's set up right now. So I imagine we don't want that. Like we would want people to submit pull requests. So I'll check that out. Cool. Well, thanks for that contribution. So hope by the next meeting we'll have more information on how to contribute. And I'll hold myself accountable for that, and I'll work with Edith and Lori. Okay. Next item, the DOK survey. So we've extended the deadline. We're still trying to collect enough data to have you know, a meaningful report. I know Robert, you were turned away based on your title, so we've made some adjustments.
I
You know,
think I think it just bounced me out. It said, "Hey, you have nothing to offer here. Bye."
Yeah,
yeah,
me too. I got kicked for
really?
something. Yeah.
So okay, so that I mean it's good. I mean those were all efforts to. There were certain questions like to try and you know make sure we had meaningful data, but I think maybe they are a little restrictive. So we've been trying to make it a little bit more open. So appreciate you letting me know that. That's
I'll
probably
try.
why.
I'll try it again. So should I just try the same link again?
Yeah, try it again. And if you still have issues, let me know.
Okay.
Steve, where did you get kicked at? Like, did it?
I don't remember.
Okay,
This
all
was a
right.
couple weeks ago, but I can give it another shot if you've changed some of the parameters.
Yeah, we did. We try and change some of the parameters. So maybe that's why we're like we haven't gotten as much data as we want, and we've heard that from other people too. So here, apologies. The intention was you know to have certain criteria. I think to limit data that's not useful, but I think maybe it's been a bit restrictive. So yeah, well, yeah. So we're still trying to share and collect more data, but we'll keep you posted. I mean, our goal is still to be able to share the data and have a report by KubeCon in November. So yeah. Um, how many people are planning on attending in November? The North America one? I'll be there.
I'm planning on being there.
Okay, cool.
I'll be
Although
there.
my so far the talks that I submitted got rejected, so which is knife in my heart.
Oh,
I'll just wander the halls with a hangdog expression on my face.
well, I'll at least give you a new shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
A new
Yeah,
DOK shirt.
yeah,
That's you can go to Utah just to get the shirt.
Well,
yeah.
Rejects just opened their CFP, Robert. I'll share the link.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
And
Fine.
What is the deal on rejects? Where is that? Yeah, if you could just post the link in chat or something, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, it's like the day before. I'm not sure where it's going to be, but all that info I think is on the site.
Okay.
The
that's a good
CFP
idea. Actually, we should post. I should post something.
They said they got 10 times more talks than they could take. So it was pretty it's a popular place to submit talks, and it's always been hard to get in.
Yeah, we had a lot of submissions. For Duke. I mean, I'm not a reviewer. I'll say what's something really positive, and we made a very huge effort to increase the number of submissions from women. So that was pretty exciting to see. Like way more than we've ever seen. So yeah, we definitely are encouraging that, and we're excited to see that this year. So yeah. Anyway, so back, if you're still we're still trying to collect data. So if you give it another shot, and I apologize if you got kicked off, but well, we're trying to make that work. So the Get Started project, I'm sort of I need to reframe that. I'm working on kind of rewriting the proposal, and we want to have something like tangible to share with people. By KubeCon. So my goal right now is to rework like what the Get Started project is, and we have a few submissions, but I'm gonna kind of rewrite the proposal of what it is, and create a work back of like how do we have something that we can share by KubeCon. So more news on that coming soon. That's sort of my priority for the next couple weeks. But there's actually, I mean, there's a ton of great resources out there, but it's just hard to find to aggregate it and find a clear path. So that's sort of on me to get that in good shape. I think what I'm leaning towards is also having it be sort of accessible via GitHub as a place where people can submit new things, just to make it a little bit more community oriented. But that's something I'm working on. I'd really like to have a really great resource for people who are just kind of learning how to get started. Actually, Gabriele, he just wrote that article. I don't know if he posted it in I forget which channel in Slack, but kind of about learning, for resources for like DBAs to learn, just enough Kubernetes to kind of get started in DoK. So that's actually a pretty awesome resource. And then Steve, I saw you just posted something. I'll check it out, and if potentially we can also put that on the DoK site if you're cool with that. But I didn't get a chance to read it, but I'll take a look at it.
So I'll say this, I'm a part of the CDF, I'm a CDF ambassador, and there is a project that the ambassadors are working on. Unfortunately, I don't have all of the information, but the person that's leading the charge is Lisa Cal, and she's amazing, but it's sort of going to be sort of like a database type workshop that she wanted me to present to you guys when she had sort of everything sort of nailed down. And I think in that there's obviously going to be some intro content. So we may be able to cross collaborate not just trying to get some content for our site in this getting started section, but also contribute back to that. So it would be, when I have the details, I'll let you all know. But I thought I immediately thought of this project when she suggested what she wanted to do. And so maybe there'll be some really good opportunity to have some cross collaboration between two communities, all in this this space.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be awesome. And then maybe we could have her come to one of our meetings and talk about that project.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think for me, honestly, one of the bigger, I guess, questions I had about that project was the intended audience. So personally, like my focus is very much so on like developing data on Kubernetes solutions, not necessarily running them. But I feel like most people would probably be interested in running them.
Sure.
So, um, and maybe that was, I feel like that was kind of addressed with the different categories, of getting started articles, but I find it personally very difficult to get started because I mean, even to find all of the ways to get started because there are so many potential paths into it.
Yeah, I think I think that's probably by my what's the word? Not negligence. Um, uh, ignorance, on the subject. So, I mean, honestly, I think that's where it'd be great to get some feedback about like what are the sort of different paths, because I get that like get started is sort of broad. So that's also part of where I need to sort of redefine things. So I don't know, maybe I can reach out to people one on one to get more feedback. But yeah, that's why I'm sort of taking a step back and realizing, get started is pretty broad. So I need to define like what does that mean? Um, I think, and maybe we won't go down all the paths right now, but having, better defining what get started means, I think is step one, and that's where I'm gonna spend some time working
And
on
maybe
that
you
right
can
now.
also use the results of the survey to guide that. When you see kind of what people are doing. I wish I could see more of the questions, but I'm still hard. But yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, just to see kind of, what more people are doing, and kind of,
yeah.
use that for guidance as well.
That okay. Sorry, I should be adding notes. So better define what get started means. There are several paths. Use survey data to help define what. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I've sort of realized that um, I was kept saying get started and was not really adding much kind of context around what that meant. So that's why I want to take a step back and put more effort into that part. Um, well, does anybody have anything else to say, or we good to move on? All right, Lori, have you heard anything from Ganesh? Because I know last time we spoke, sort of had asked Ganesh to take a step back too and sort of diagram about what he was uh like literally to create a diagram just to have a visual representation to help, I think, other people understand what the project was.
Yeah, let me just kind of walk through it. So if y'all like, click on the link, or Paul, if you want to click on the link,
Oh, sure.
his proposal. One of the things that we noticed when going through it is that it's so general that it is overwhelming, right? Because there's so many different pieces to this puzzle to kind of come up with a framework. So what I asked for him to do is to kind of use his expertise, because when you look at like key questions to discuss, he's got, cloud versus on-prem, which Kubernetes orchestration, like what tools you want to use. It's just really a lot. So what I asked for him to do is sort of diagram out exactly how he sees this looking in pictorial form, just sort of like any kind of software diagram, so people can see what it is, and then also kind of pick and choose what they may be able to contribute to. I also asked him to scale it down and to kind of pick one key area initially that we can then template out for other areas. So he was going to be very busy the last couple of weeks, so he hasn't sent anything over yet, but I just pinged him, hopefully to kind of get his update. And I think also what I'm realizing is that he's not done a lot of work with community yet, so he's not really sure how to make the ask, how projects like this work in like collaborative style, how to get the most collaboration with, just some oversight. So I think it's just going to be a process, and like walking him through how this could work, introducing to different SIGs, whether it's at the CNCF, CDF, or within our SIG ourselves, and really like asking specific asks of the community. Do you have expertise in, tooling? Like, is there a reference architecture you already have that maybe we can add into this sort of framework? So that's kind of where we're at. So he did take all of your feedback and try to adjust. And I think when we finally have sort of like what his framework looks like, I think it'll be easier to try and piecemeal it out to those particular communities to kind of come up with the overall sort of idea. But happy to take anybody's feedback based on that sort of strategy.
Well, I know one of the things we talked about, and Robert, you had mentioned this, was like maybe, step one is like just a white paper, like
Yeah.
and I think did you talk about that with Ganesh too, Lori?
But I think that's kind of where he's kind of stuck. Like he sees this as being a big collaborative thing that creates a white paper instead of starting with just here are my ideas, this is what I'm thinking, this is where everything fits in. So I think if we can, get the diagram from him and then maybe talk him into sort of writing it out into sort of a white paper and getting contributors that way, and then maybe building on top of it. But I kind of want to just do baby steps, if you will, because this is something that's so new to him, and I don't want to turn him off from wanting to try and contribute things and thoughts and ideas like this in the future. So I think, anytime you have someone that's new to community, there's, a decent amount of handholding till they get comfortable sort of like making asks and stuff like that. So happy to go in that route, maybe work with you, Robert, to try and help shape it. Or whoever, I think
Yeah.
in this, you've got.
I'll help.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It needs to be just, kind of strangled or compressed a little bit down to something we can solve. By the way, there's Jing Zhang who is doing this storage sort of paper on storage that Paul connected me with to do comments. She's done a pretty good job of setting up a white paper, and there's lots of good examples of what these things look like, and it does seem like a time-honored way to kind of get your toes wet in one of these problems without having to boil the ocean.
Yeah, actually, that's a good. I mean, honestly, the DoK white paper is, the database patterns is a good example. And then I know you are part of this other one, and actually, it sort of dovetails into that because I didn't put it on the agenda, but I know you had just asked Xing, and I didn't see her response. But did you want to give an update on that one?
She said, "Yes, it's done. Review it." And I'm just looking at it while I was waiting my turn to talk, and it looks pretty good. It's actually a fun paper, and it got a number. She picked some good people to contribute, so it's actually a pretty interesting paper. Here, I'll share the link on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm gonna just throw it in the chat here.
Okay.
Uh,
Awesome. And that's the tag storage DoK.
yeah, exactly. for text
AIML workload
storage,
white paper.
AI, ML, and actually analytics. It's AI and analytics. So
Oh yeah, that's where is that the part that you contributed to? More like the
yeah, I
analytics.
was the analytic part because I don't know much about AI other than that people spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so you put that in the chat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. It's in the chat. It's interesting.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, this is a good example to check out for sure. Um, yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think there's something here with. Sorry, I know I moved on, but I think there's definitely something to Ganesh's original proposal. So hopefully, we can move forward with something. It'd be awesome to have something to share by KubeCon, or even if we're still gathering feedback, it would be a good place because it does seem like actually something that could be a living project, right? Like I don't think it's necessarily like set it and forget it. So ultimately, getting more maybe KubeCon would be a good place to find more contributors as well too. And then I don't have really any updates. I haven't been able to go to the 6 storage meetings lately, and because they've been conflicting with other things, and they haven't posted the last couple of recordings. But I did see that Kubernetes version 1.31 is released today, I believe. I was looking at the scheduler that they have. I don't think anything moved into GA that the SIG storage was working on. So there were some things that were moving to beta, but I don't think anything got moved in, so no significant changes. I don't think this version. Now, again, that's caveated that I wasn't able to watch the recording because it's not out yet. But based on what I saw on the scheduler, it doesn't look like anything got released. Any changes, and on the storage side. Sorry, I should say that. Yeah. Well, does anybody else have any questions or comments?
Oh, I got kicked out of yours. I got kicked out of the survey again. I don't know what it is that is. Yeah, it's. I think when I write that my title is CEO and other, I get thrown out. But that's
Okay.
what it is, and I work on data. I think if that's a limitation, that cuts out most little companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing. I got kicked at 0 through 99 employees.
Yeah, that I would get kicked out there as well.
Okay. All right. I will. I'll talk with Melissa.
I felt so humble. I felt so humiliated.
Your opinion matters.
Well, not here. No, just because if you throw me out, you're probably, and if you're throwing the two of us out, you're probably kicking out a lot of other people as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
You get notifications when people get kicked out, Paul?
I don't. Because it's run through an independent, survey company. I mean, we can give them feedback, so Melissa's in touch with them, but
Okay.
I don't get those notifications, but I will let Melissa know. Although Melissa will
Right.
be out after today for a while, so hopefully we can get it sort of solved now, because it sounds like maybe that's a point of frustration with a lot of people here. So, well, that's good. That's good to know. I mean, obviously we want to have a quality survey, and that's so. Yeah, well, I'll try and see what I can do, and I'll let you all know. Although maybe people will be tired of trying if we keep telling them to fill it out and they keep.
Yeah, my advice would be just take all the restrictions off. You can clean the data after the fact, but that
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, I'll pass that information on.
Yeah. Thank
All
you.
right. Well, yeah, appreciate everybody joining. Does anybody else have anything else that we need to say? All right, cool. Well, we have some things to. I have some things for sure to do. Yeah, thanks for joining, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, actually, one more thing. Yeah, next on Thursday, you should try and come to the town hall. We have exciting talk with this David Fox from Dish Network. So he's going to be talking about running batch workloads on Kubernetes at Dish Network. So if you can come, you should check it out.
Thank you.
All right, cool. See you,
Thanks,
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Here, everyone.